Hello and welcome back to T-Moe's World and to week 4 of season 4 2025 of the GT3 challenge fixed in iRacing. And this week we are in Spain at the Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya, yet another track I never raced on before. But this time I found it was not too hard to memorize all the turns, and so I was able to push my lap times down to 1:47 or maybe 1:46 after maybe an hour of practice. And then I did 3 races on this track and I'm gonna show you all of them. I will try to keep it short for the first and the third race and show the second race in a bit more detail, so please bear with me through the video. I made it as exciting as possible, and if you like it, please feel free to leave a like or consider subscribing. I would greatly appreciate that, and with that being said, here we go. In my very first race I qualified on position 10, and here we go with a rolling start. I already lost 2 positions to Justin in the Porsche and David in the Ford directly after the start. A little bit later in lap 1 I'm on position 11, as some driver must have fallen behind. As usual, quite some tight racing going on, and that was very close. Quite a decent lap 1 for the first race. We are jumping ahead a little bit into lap 2. As there was a bit of a traffic jam, I decided to go and take the opportunity to overtake the driver in front of me as he left the door pretty wide open. Later on, when I watched the replay, I thought that was maybe a bit too aggressive, so sorry for that. Jumping ahead to lap 3, now I'm really close behind Justin. And Mariano in front of us crashes his car into the wall, and Justin in front of me slowed down a little bit, so I thought briefly I could maybe overtake him, but no, he regained his composure, and so I'm still behind him. Jumping into lap 7, I'm meanwhile on position 9, still behind Justin and in front of David. And Justin spins his car. Luckily I could avoid the crash here, so with that I'm on position 8. And that's how I finished this race, on position 8 and with 5 incident points. So overall I had a slight decrease in safety rating and a slight increase in iRating, and I was very happy with the results. So that was a great motivation for the next race, which I'm gonna show you right next. In the second race I qualified on position 9, which is slightly better than in the first race. And here you can see there's already something going on shortly before the rolling start, which is right now. And this time I managed to keep my starting position, and with a small gap to the cars in front of me, I feel quite comfortable to go into turn 1. But what the heck was that? So with that, I am the last but one driver. I'm on P17. Let's take a look what happened during the start. Take a look at the driver on pole. He's not really keeping his line here and makes contact, and that causes then immediate chaos, as you can see. Let's take another look. And he got quite a bit of damage from this. Meanwhile, I arrive at turn 1 and you can see Colin behind me really didn't care about me being in front of him. The contact was ever so slight but fully avoidable, so this might be a racing incident, but anyways, I was quite pissed, to be honest. In the background you can see the driver that was on pole. He spins the car most likely due to the damage taken from the incident before. Jumping back into my cockpit, I was quite frustrated to be now on position 17. Meanwhile, the driver on pole position enters the pits, most likely due to a penalty that he got from the start. And I recognized I had only 2 incident points, so I thought to myself, I can as well just be practicing the track a bit more and see what happens. This is a 20-minute race and a lot can happen. With me overtaking Shane, who is in the pits, I'm now on position 16. Let's take a look what happens on position 12 with David. He loses control and with it lots of positions. And as you can see in the background, he's now in front of me. I really wanted to take that opportunity to gain another position, and it was very close for quite some time. But here he has the inside line, which is an advantage, and he keeps his position. On position 6, Mitsuru has quite some close racing going on. And he makes contact and spins out. I honestly cannot understand why the drivers behind him did such a dive bomb maneuver, so that's clearly on them. So as you have seen, I have overtaken him and this gives me position 15. And jumping ahead, you can see I'm still on P15, while David is still in front of me, driving fastest laps. But now Mitsuru behind me is coming closer and I'm starting to feel the pressure. That guy is just too fast for me, and just like that, I'm back on position 16. Let us take a look ahead at position 12. Something is cooking here. Quite similar to my incident from the first lap, David tries to overtake, makes contact and causes the guy to spin. And while that gives me position 15, I think that is somewhat careless driving, but it seems to happen quite often in this race. And here you can see another driver in the dirt. That gives me position 14. And jumping ahead to lap 8, I'm still on position 14. And there's something going on position 8. Jan takes the inside line, tries to overtake, but leaves no room for Marco, which causes this incident. It seems Marco can get back on track, while Jan is having a hard time finding his way back, losing several positions and coming out in front of me, and I get position 13 from that. You can see how close the rest of the field in front of me is, so there's still hope of gaining even more positions. Let's take a look at position 10 at George and Peter Harald Bauer in front of him. Peter is just too fast here and briefly leaves the track, rejoins, has lost some speed and is now overtaken by George, but intentionally or not keeps bumping into George and causes him to spin out. Too bad for George, but this gives me the opportunity to maybe also overtake him, and I decided to take the inside line, but that was a bad decision and I caused him to spin just like I was spun in the first lap. This gives me position 12, but leaves a bad taste in my mouth. Sorry for that, George. Jumping to lap 10, I'm still on P12 and still there are drivers not too far in front of me. Let's take a look at Mitsuru, who's still directly in front of me, trying to fight his way back. But he also runs into Peter, who shows some really strange driving. Don't know what's going on with him. I think his actions are really intentional. You see, he overtakes Mitsuru, brake checks him, then speeds up again. And he seems to have the speed because his fastest lap is also a low 1:46. And now Mitsuru is using the slipstream to overtake Peter on the right side, but Peter leaves no room, makes contact and crashes into the wall and is gone from the race immediately. That gives me position 11, and later on I found in the results that Peter in fact was disqualified. He had too many incident points. A little bit later this lap you can see on the right hand side David has parked his car, and that gives me position 10. Jumping ahead to the last lap, let's take a look at Mark on position 5, driving the Porsche. He has the outside line and the driver on the inside line makes contact and causes him to spin. We have seen that quite a few times in this race. One time also I was the guy on the inside line. He loses several positions and that gives me position 9. And with that we only have a few more turns left to go, and I am back on the position I started from, which is unbelievable. Here once more Mark bumps into my car. Fortunately nothing happens. One last time we are approaching the tricky combination of turns at the end of the lap. You really have to avoid the curbs here, otherwise you lose a ton of time or even spin. And that's the race. So really unbelievable that I'm back on position 9 where I started from. The results are all green, even if the gain in safety rating and I rating are ever so slightly. But the race was so much fun that I really was motivated to take a third race. And that is right next. For race 3, I qualified on pole. I could not believe it. As I show you on screen, it was only a 1:46.5. So really nothing too fancy. But anyways, I have never done a rolling start from pole and I'm not intending to mess it up here, so I just try to get away from the other drivers as fast as I can. Also in the back of my mind there's still the incident from lap 1 in the race before, and I just wanted nothing of that in this race. Knowing that the guys behind me are most likely a bit faster than myself, I was hoping that they would fight each other in a way that they lose some speed and I could get away from them a little bit. And so far this strategy seems to work. And even in lap 5 I'm still on pole position, but the guys behind me are coming closer. You can see I'm really trying to defend my pole position. But there is a short wiggle of my car as I'm driving at the limit, and that's enough for Xavier to overtake me. What a pity, but that's racing. And now I got Pedro on my back. And that was a very close one, a bit too aggressive for my liking. But I didn't want to have any incident here. So I let him go and tried to attack him myself. But jumping into lap 10, I just couldn't get position 2 back from Pedro. At least I was able to keep the position I had, but now Mario behind me is really applying some pressure and he's overtaking me also. And that was very clean, so now I'm on position 4 and I'm not intending to lose any more positions in this race. And in fact I didn't. I made it to the last lap and over the finish line on position 4, and with only 2 off tracks I gained enough safety rating to make the jump over the 3.0 safety rating. Also I gained significant I rating. What a fun race that was. I hope you liked this video, even if it was a bit longer. And if you did, feel free to give a like or even subscribe. That would be greatly appreciated. And with that, I wish you a great time, have a nice week, have fun, and see you in the next race. Bye bye.